Hello.
Hi, Jerry. How
How
are
are
you?
Good.
Good.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. I'm Mallory. Hi, Mal. Can you hear us?
Good evening.
Hi, Paula.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. So Carrie won't be joining us tonight.
Oh, hope she's okay.
Yeah, she's all right.
A little under the weather. And the weather's been miserable, I can tell you.
Yeah, you can't blame her, right?
What is going on here? Everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
How are you?
I'm good. My
your camera.
camera's not up. There it goes. Now I think it's finally going. Computer's very slow. It's trying.
Yeah, so Carrie won't be here tonight. Maureen won't be here either. Cheryl
Okay.
won't be here.
Well, there you are, Kevin. So why don't we go ahead and get started?
Recording in progress.
Okay. Camera there a little bit. Hey, call the meeting to order. Tonight's agenda is, I don't think it's gonna take the full 2 hours, but we'll see. We're gonna review the minutes from February, public comment if there is any. We have a request for Meadowbrook for installing a composting toilet, which we all got materials on. We have yet another follow-up on the tobacco regulations.
Can't wait.
I'll tell you, they just keep going.
Yeah.
Slow burn, no pun intended. And then we'll do an update if there is any on the community health needs assessment, and then our usual coalition update, monthly report, and wrap up. That's the plan. So in terms of approval of the minutes, any comments or questions or edits or suggestions? Yes, Paula.
Just points of clarification for me. On page 2,
Yes.
under roll call vote, the second sentence wasn't clear to me. I don't have it in front of me, so I can't refer specifically. Do you have it there in front of you, Cassidy?
Is this under the tobacco regulations?
No, under the minutes. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think it was under the minute.
It,
Yeah,
In-
under the minutes on the roll call vote,
on the roll call vote
second sentence.
on page 2?
Yes, it
Um,
just, the sentence just didn't make sense to me.
I'm trying to get the minutes up for you guys so you can see what we're
Yeah, that would
talking
be
about.
helpful.
Hmm. It's saying my access is denied. This is my first time taking home the computer, so
Oh,
I can try opening it a different way as well. Yeah, it's not letting me open my minutes.
Okay, let me see if I can open mine. So I can be specific. Maybe I should have printed it out or something. I don't know. It may not be, yeah, I can just send it to, well, I don't know. We all have to approve it, don't we? So that doesn't make sense. I'm pulling up the minutes now for. But I know I can't share them, but I can read to you anyway what I'm talking about. It was under the tobacco, you were right that it was under the tobacco regulations. But it says, when it says the state regulations stay the same. Nope, that's not the one. Sorry, page 2. I'm not finding it, but you know what? It wasn't critical.
well, we can, if, we could certainly defer the vote on the minutes to next month's meeting. There's no urgency to that. And then,
Okay.
when you find it, you can, we can discuss it at the next meeting. And hopefully Cassidy will have access by then. It's funny, I save all the documents that get sent out pre-board, but I don't usually save the minutes because they're online. So
Yep,
I
yep.
couldn't even get them. So why don't we move on? I don't think there's any public comment unless Gina. I'm not sure who Gina is. But if there's no public comment or hands raised, then we can move on.
Sure.
Go ahead. Day, I thought, in terms of Meadowbrook, are you going to present that, or I thought you're on mute. You're on mute.
So Middlebrook canceled. They would like to be at the next meeting instead.
Oh,
So
Okay. I guess we'll defer that one too.
Moving right along.
Yeah, moving right along. Okay, tobacco regulations. And Maureen wasn't able to join us. I guess she got tired of our company after the last 2 or 3 months. So my understanding of where we are with this is we started with our baseline Reading regulations. We took the new state regulations and mandates and statutes from 2019, and we added them in. And at our last meeting, we approved that body of work. We then went through specific pieces that could be town specific, and we agreed or disagreed to put in all those items. I think we completed that work. And then we got down to the fines for violations, and there were 2 sets. One was state mandated fines, the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000?
Yeah,
5,000.
1, 2, and 5, right. And so for the state mandated those fines for certain violations. But then for Reading, we had the option of putting either the state set of fines or for Reading specific regulations, or the current Reading fine structure, which is 100, 200, 300. And so that is I think the only piece we need to complete tonight. And if I understand this correctly, when we complete this, at the next meeting, the town council, they would have forwarded this to the town council. Town council would then review the entirety of all the changes. And that's what we would review at our next meeting, potentially for a vote. I do have one question that's come up in my mind around the need or not the need for a public hearing. But maybe we can address that once we finish the violation piece. So what I wanted to do was, I'm going to pull this up, share my screen. This was, these items here are the town-specific regulations. And I had sent this survey out, and I think we got responses from several people. And the responses are itemized here. And so it turns out that of the people responding, and I think, Jerry, perhaps you're the person who, well, Carrie didn't respond, and Jerry. So the items that I highlighted in yellow are the ones where there's sort of unanimity of consensus. And unless Carrie's not here, so Jerry, unless any of these appear you would want to have a conversation about, we can do that now. Otherwise, we can move on beyond the highlighted yellow ones and just review these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones that there was a little bit of, diversity of opinion.
Yeah, obviously I agree with those that are unanimous, and I apologize for not sending it in.
Sure, no problem. Okay, so why don't we start at the top? And so this was prohibition of the sale of blunt wraps. And, the question is whether if the inspectors saw that someone was selling blunt wraps, should that be, the 100, 200, 300, or the higher state fines? I think, we can have a discussion about that. I think I kind of went with the 100, 200, 300, I think because it didn't seem like a huge offense that, greatly impaired public safety. But, I could be convinced otherwise. Do other people have thoughts on this particular item?
I frankly don't remember what I put down.
I know what you put down, Paula, because I'm the lone one over on the 1,000, 2,000,
Okay.
5,000. So you're over there with Rick. My thought on this was, I know it's a harsh and penal penalty, and this is where I wish Maureen was here, because she would come up with data and facts and say, well, actually, these are can be quite problematic and lead to stuff. I think she's told us that before, where these are kind of lead to other types of behavior, we'll say. And especially amongst minors if they get a hold of them. So that was the only reason I wanted to be in the more penal side of that one. It's in our regulations. If you're pulling a permit with us, you should know this, and you should have these regulations. You should know what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
But I mean, to your point, Rick, people slip up, and it's $1,000 is a hard slip up rather than $100.
Yeah, the word that came to my mind is, my thought was, is it egregious? And it didn't seem egregious to me.
Jerry, what do you think?
I think this is why I struggled with it. I mean, initially I was leaning more towards the 100, 200, 300 for all of them, but there's, you know what I mean? Like that was because I was like, this is the way it is now. And Rick, you mentioned something about having a public meeting.
Yes.
I didn't know if that was one of your considerations, was if we're not changing it, does that mean we don't need to have a public meeting? But I could go either way. These are tough ones. I think the hardest one is the display of the license. Like that, $1,000 for that seems kind of harsh.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm not being.
So what I'm hearing is sort of maybe 3-1 here. Maybe the 100, 200, 300 ought to stand for the board.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
In regards to what we can and can't do here. I mean, I think any fine, quite frankly, right up front is a penal, other than a written notice that you can't, right? So is there a way to have a written notice on that 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 side? Because I'd be comfortable with that then. Okay, you had it. Here's the notice. Now you know it's going to be $1,000 next time. Just a heads up. I doubt we're going to have to have that be a problem again. But it's still, I don't know. For me, it's just if you're going to have some regulations, there should be some. Can I sell more than $100 worth of these blunt wraps to offset the difference of being fined, or $300 for that matter?
What I'd push against back on that is that, if it opens the door for people to really go against the regulations for some significant things, knowing that they're just going to get a slap on the wrist the first time and then they can pull back. So, how about no local tobacco sales permit? They don't have a permit and they're selling tobacco. They shouldn't get a slap on the wrist for that, or they're selling it in a school,
Sure. Right.
Or out in the schoolyard. They're setting up a stand. Some things are just egregious. They, right from the get-go. And I just feel like it opens up the door to people taking a chance and knowing,
So what you're saying is, if we do it for one, we have to do it for all. We can't be specific. This one comes with a warning, the rest don't. So that's why I wish, again, Maureen was here. That's more probably a legal question for town council as well.
I think that makes sense, Kevin, to have the warning first.
I don't know if we can do it. That's the only problem.
Yeah, right. I think I'm glad I'm not on town council.
Yeah, but again, the other thought process is, let's go, for tonight's purposes, go with 100, 200, 300. If it starts to become a problem, you can always revisit this.
Right, we could always do that. Okay, so let's stick with this format for now. We agreed on the blunt wraps being 100, 200, 300. Let's go to those minimum sales. Remember, we agreed on $3 and $6
Mhm.
for those. And
I
so-
actually flip-flopped on this one. I think Cassidy, I think this is I sent that to you twice. This is the one that I had flip-flopped on, wasn't it?
Yes.
I know on the one before you had a little bit more leaning towards the left side, but on the second one you sent me that you stuck with, you're more of like the
I was much
grander
more on
total.
the right. I think I was only on the left side for one of these, the second one I sent. you.
Yeah.
And now I'm flipping again.
So where are you
So
landing?
take the 2 and move it over on the 1,200, 5,000, move that one over. So now it's 2 on the left, 1 on the right.
2 on the left.
Yeah, the more I think about that, that's a tough one. That should be more of a slap on the wrist.
Okay. I had it on the right, but I could see how, they charge $350. I don't think there should be $1,000 fine or something. And
Right.
So,
And again, if that becomes a problem, well, then you can revisit it.
right.
I just make a suggestion,
Yes.
just to make this less complicated. If we go with the standard $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 fee structure, fine structure, if anybody is aggrieved, they can request a hearing before the board, and then you guys can weigh your options. And if you decide you want to eliminate the fees or you want to lower it, you should be able to do that.
So that gets into, I think, a good point today, because we can make the words. You have to agree on that too. Shall or may.
Right.
You make it may. That gives the board leeway to do exactly what a day say, rather than shall.
And plus, we could give the warning at that point at a hearing, could we not?
Right. We could agree to defer the fine and just give a warning, or if it's egregious in the way they handle things, go with the fine itself. But you're right, Kevin. I remember we had that may shall discussion.
Yeah,
That would have to be in the fine section. It would have to, what we would have is, the uniform amount, but it would be may or shall. So is that something town council can craft? We can ask them to craft?
Yes.
And that this would just be for these specific regulations, which are town unique.
Right.
For the state, there is no may shall. It's
Correct.
shall. Right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Then I think we're done with this. And the question about a hearing, I just wanted to see what people thought. My initial thinking a couple meetings ago was that, and particularly when there was a tobacco retailer on the online and I was thinking, well, there are all these changes that may impact their businesses and we should allow for hearing. But as we've gone through everything, it turns out that there are, as I started this conversation, there are really three chunks here. The first chunk is the original Reading regulations, which have been in existence for some time. No reason to have a hearing for those. And then the second chunk is the state mandated regulations, which no hearing.
can't have a hearing
no
for
reason-
that either.
Can't disagree with that.
Mhm.
You have to do those. So all there would be in terms of hearing material would be the few areas which I just had up that were specific for Reading. And it seems like you know, number one, they don't seem, any of them don't seem particularly outrageous or would impact existing retailers in a major way. And secondly, I think it would be complicated to try to describe to the public that we're adopting these regulations, but only these particular areas, if you have comment, you can comment. And I think if you looked at the document and we highlighted the Reading specific areas that they may want to comment on, because there would potentially be leeway, it's going to be like 10% of the body of work. And so, you know, do we need to have a public hearing around that? And then I was thinking, you know, we did the regulations for the tattoo, you know, clinics, and we you know, we didn't have a public hearing for that. I just don't think they're that this set is necessarily that controversial. But I mean, I'm open to it. If we did, we would have to after the next meeting, when we see the final body of work, we would then have to publicize and somehow parse it out so that people understand if they want to come, they can only comment on these areas, because those are the only areas that are affected. Thoughts about that? Anybody?
Yeah, I'm kind of in line with what you're thinking, Rick. I mean, it is a small portion.
I mean, it's almost tweaking when it comes down to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. You know, you always want to inform the public as best you can, but you know, is there really enough there that matters? That's going to change. Right.
So, you know, think about it, and you know, we don't have to decide today. Maybe so next in our April meeting, when we see the final body of work, then we can make a decision then whether we want to have a hearing or just vote on it.
I'm just wondering if it makes sense to let the public know that these are things that are coming to vote, and if they want to comment, they could sign into the meeting.
Well, I had an idea of sending it to
Business owners.
the current 16 tobacco retailers in the town, but then I thought, well, yes, they have a vested interest, but if we did that, then, you know, any resident could say, well, wait a minute, I have a vested interest too. I live in the town. You know, it's not just what you sell. It's you know, what's one of my teenage children affected. So I don't know how we could focus an announcement. Ade, do you have any thoughts on this?
I don't think we've made enough changes to trigger a public hearing.
So let's think about that and, you know, decide on that next month, but that's kind of where I'm thinking as well. All right.
I'm so sorry. I just have a question. So you guys have, I'm just doing it for the minutes. So you guys have stuck with the larger fines?
Yes, and a day can kind of go over that. We're staying with the state fine structure, but we're going to change the wording that for those specific items, you know, I think we currently said we shall, you know.
And so you want to change it to like the May?
May, yes. And
sounds good. Thank you.
Allow the retailer to appeal.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. On the community health needs assessment, we had a good kickoff meeting. Ade, anything that we need to talk about on that?
Well, let's see. Everybody knows that we hired Pear Associates LLC to assess the health needs of our town and propose ways to address the identified needs. Yeah, we had a kickoff meeting last week. and we are in the early stages of putting together a planning commission to guide the process. And also, Peer LLC has proposed some dates and times for part 2 of the kickoff meeting. And the goal of this second meeting will be to identify a health framework and begin to discuss health-related data and needs. And earlier today, Cassidy created a doodle poll that we shared with everybody. And we plan to schedule the meeting based on the poll results. Pretty much same thing we did the last time. And I think for this meeting, we need to try to figure out who we would like to include in the planning commission. That's what I'm thinking.
So I think that I would be happy to be on that planning commission. You know, I think that if one of the associate members wanted to as well, that would be possible because that would not be in a quorum. And thinking about open meeting law. And if one of the members, in addition, Paul or Carrie, wanted to be, you know, really wanted to be involved, it's possible to be involved to the extent that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Aday, to sort of what I've seen the select board do, which is they post that they're having a meeting, and the meeting is to go to another commission or board meeting, and so I think it's possible to do that if there was a strong desire for you know, Paula or Carrie to participate. But otherwise, I'm happy to be the point person and come back and report to the board and so forth.
I'm interested in being a part of this as well. So if there is a way for me to be there, I would like to.
Okay. Okay. So, you know, I think if, you know, Jerry and Kevin, if you had an interest, you know, let Aday know, and, you know, this in the next week or so, and we can work on that.
So I think we have to limit the number of participants to about 10, not more than 10.
From the board?
No problem.
I'll like it.
Not from the board, but from you know, from
Right,
partners and everybody else. So I'm thinking, you know, 1 or 2 members from the Board of Health, 1 person from the police department, 1 person from the coalition, 1 person from the fire department.
Council on Aging,
Council on Aging,
school,
school department,
Veterans.
from the Chamber of Commerce,
veterans.
yeah, Chamber of Commerce, veterans. That's
9.
Okay, I'll back out then. It's not a problem. I don't want to obstruct the process.
Okay. Do you, Aday, you know, do you see, and maybe it's too early, see potentially subcommittees spinning out from the planning committee, or it's not going to be that complex? For instance, develop a survey. Is that, you know, or develop an online survey? Would that be something that, how would that, like, the mechanics of that work? Peer
LLC would and
Here
handle
we'll do.
those surveys and focus groups and interviews and everything. They would handle those.
Oh, I know, but what about content?
They just need us to feed them with information.
Okay.
That's all they need. So they need somebody to call. They want, if they can call Chief Barnes and ask about issues from the past, Chief Barnes will be able to answer them. We just need people that know what they're talking about to participate.
Okay. Okay. Anything else on this that we should talk about?
Well, at the next meeting, I added a few more people. I added Chamber of Commerce to the group. I added the economic development director, Benjamin, to the group as well. I added somebody from veterans. So I expect that we're going to see new faces at the next meeting.
Okay. And we'll continually report back on the progress at every Board of Health meeting through the course of the year, for sure. I think that is it on the needs assessment. Kevin, anything on the coalition or?
Just real quick, I'll email it out to everybody. It was just, this was a meeting for their 2022 recap. So it's just a slide that has all the data that they went through for the whole year. So it wasn't anything really new or anything to report back. So I'll send that out to the group so everybody can take a look at it.
All right, great. Thank you. Ade, the monthly report.
All right. It looks like this meeting is
We're cruising.
Moving right along.
All right. So in the month of February, the health department conducted 16 food establishment inspections, 4 food establishment re-inspections, 3 food complaint inspections, 1 temporary food event inspection, 1 closure order at Cumberland Farms, 1 housing complaint inspection on Lakeview Street, and 1 dog waste complaint on Pearl Street. All right, Mallory.
Hi, everyone. So our flu and COVID numbers are down, which looks great. The numbers actually look fabulous. And the next clinic for Vaccinate RX is on the 10th. And we'll continue to hold monthly clinics through Vaccinate RX. We'll have both COVID and flu, if any, never too late to get your flu shot. So that's that. And then I'm still holding a blood pressure clinic every second Monday of the month. This one, it's going to be on the 13th. So I recommend everyone to come down. You never know. Blood pressure can be a silent killer. So it's really important to get it checked. And then I'm also going to hold a monthly health topic, which is kidneys. So we're going to do Kidney Smart, talk about kidney health, how it's easy to get like kidney disease, go into kidney failure. It's much more common than you think. And then we're going to have bingo that that talks about fun facts about kidneys as well. So that will be a fun event. So everyone can come down. It's in Town Hall on the 15th. And there's another thing we want to support right now. It's called the Behavioral Health Line. It's a free service that's happening through Massachusetts that you can call in case of a crisis. And it's free. The first call is free, and they'll send you where you're supposed to go, and then they follow up with you. So if you're having a mental crisis and you feel like you need to call, they can call you, and they make sure that you stay the path of healing. They follow up, make sure if you need an appointment somewhere, they'll lead you to it. So it's a great service that Massachusetts offers now. So we're trying to encourage it and promote it.
Great.
Excellent.
Great.
It's been good to see those announcements on social media, as well as on the website. So that's good. The more we can get out in terms of the news, the better.
Absolutely. We have an excellent team at the moment. We're fully staffed. So things are looking good.
Great.
Anything else?
No updates on the Ash Street
No updates. Same situation.
Mm.
We completed the annual report for 2022. I will be sharing that with you on Monday. Let's see. Regarding the meeting in April, I know you had mentioned, Dr. Lopez, that you won't be available on that Thursday. Is that still the case?
Right, right. So I think we agreed we would have it the second Thursday of the month, which I believe is the 13th.
10th. Okay. All right. Other than that,
Is there any other, any more update on the summary report from Chief Burns on COVID?
he hasn't forwarded the report to me yet.
Okay.
Once I get it, I'll forward it to the board.
Do you think he's right? He is writing it, maybe?
I think he is.
Okay. And I want to ask you, you had sent out to us some detail on February, breakdown with a little bit more detail of various complaints and so forth. Specifically around the restaurant-related complaints. I'm presuming that those were found to be not.
They were unfounded.
They were all unfounded.
Okay. In the housing complaint,
The housing complaint, we issued an order to get everything rectified, and they achieved compliance.
okay,
And Mallory, the number of COVID cases, you said they were down quite a bit. What are they?
I'll pull them up there. Right now, we only have 14 active cases.
14 active cases. That's good. Great. Okay. I think that is it, unless I'm missing something.
is this a record?
This is probably, yes, 40 minutes.
One more thing to add. I did host a Narcan class that went very well
Oh,
at
yes.
the library with the coalition. It went extremely well. Everyone was really responsive. We passed out Narcan. We're planning to do it hopefully the first week of April. We're still kind of trying to pick a day. So when we pick a day, I'll make a flyer and we'll post it.
How many attended?
10.
And,
Okay,
All right.
That's good.
and the eye clinic went well as well.
Oh yeah, the eye clinic.
Had a great turnout.
That's great.
we have a comment.
All right. If there are no other suggestions, then I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
We have a
No.
public comment.
No, we did public comment at the beginning of the agenda.
Well, you never do that. Not only that, but this meeting wasn't announced till just yesterday.
No, it was posted on Tuesday, and the agenda has the public comment at the beginning of the meeting.
It was yeah, but except all month, even though you're supposed to have a meeting the first Thursday of every month, it has not been posted until I just looked, which is where I found what I need to comment on.
Okay. This is out of the order of the agenda. If you want to make a comment necessary you can do your 2-minute comment.
Thank you. When I went to the Board of Health website to check the calendar, I noticed you have put up new artwork and promotion, which you earlier just showed a few minutes ago, as it relates to the March 10th clinic for vaccination and booster shots at the middle school. I also noticed the same bulletin on the front page of the town's main page. I looked carefully and did not see any other corresponding notice as to informed consent requested on my part now several times. To clarify, this is something that the reader who's reading the ad and who also may be at varying levels of education on that subject prior to getting vaccinated or boosted, they should do their own risk-benefit analysis based on the drug side effects, their own age, health and immunity status, etc., that this is in fact still an EUA drug, Emergency Use Act. Under Section 564 of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, the agency has established conditions on advertisements of other promotional matter that relate to the emergency use of the authorized product, in this case, the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, bivalent boosters. No such printed matter, advertising, or promotional content relating to the EUA drug under this authorization may represent or suggest that the drug is safe or effective when used for the listed ailment, in this case, COVID-19. While you may claim that the listing of availability is not the same as promoting the injections, the fact you are the Board of Health, and many will see this and make the assumption it is a recommendation that the Board of Health would not promote something it is not also recommending. You offer no other information on the site. This is an implication of safety. And listing availability is in fact a promotion, since it will get more people to go to the middle school to get these injections. This all noted, is it the board's position that you will only provide promotional information on getting vaccinated and that you will not also provide what is required around informed consent?
I am presuming that informed consent is obtained at the time of vaccination. And I think that's adequate informed consent. I don't think announcing that there's a clinic, people can make their decision whether to go, but informed consent is given at the time of vaccination. Is that correct, Aday, Mallory? Okay.
They have to usually, they give you, when you sign up, you usually get the VIS, like the vaccine information sheet, and then it's usually available at the clinics as well.
Okay.
Correct. Thank you very much for your comment.
And with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Have a second, Paula. Okay. Paula, roll call.
Yes,
Rick, yes.
thanks, Rick and
Thank you.
Ade and Mallory and Cassidy. Thank you
Thank
all.
you, everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you.
See you later.